Hi, I am Jonathan Dadoj, and this is a video of my classwork from Research Methods with Professor Honorbond at Lawrence Tech in Southfield, Michigan. This is the first of the 3 posters created in this class. The poster is on discourse, with references from my case study work architecture company. Through my research, I created a thesis, then picked 3 discourses that may support my thesis. My thesis for my discourse poster is in standard design practices. We design spaces for the functions that clients intend to use those spaces for without consideration of the environment surrounding those spaces. Once the parameters of the purpose of the building are set, we then design systems to ensure the client is comfortable in those spaces. With today's technology and skilled workforce, we can manipulate spaces within a building to satisfy a specific need, then go back and manipulate that space again for another. But once the structure is erected, it becomes more difficult to manipulate to fit the needs of the environment surrounding it. We need to start designing in a larger scope. When we start designing these structures, we should think of the building and surrounding environment as our first client, and the building owner as the second. As designers, we need to start designing buildings that are socially, environmentally, and economically sustainable for the local region prior to client's function. For the first poster, I created a Venn diagram using 3 circles with my thesis in the center. Place the 3 discourses, 2 on the top, 1 on each side, and the 3rd on the bottom middle. The idea was to describe the 3 discourses within their own space and then show how they support each other within the overlap. Top left is socially sustainable. To design with social sustainability in mind, we need to have diverse functions available in the community associated in the building. Create structures with multiple functions helps create social places that support each other the way a community would. Top right is economic sustainability. To design with economic sustainability in mind, we need to have a mixture of residential and commercial functions available in the community associated in that building. Creating needs and wants that residents may have and the business may support. Structures with multiple functions help create economic growth that support each other. On the bottom is environmental architecture. Architecture should take shape from cues from its surrounding context. For example, a green roof of local wildflowers in rows echo the surrounding natural wildlife, or even instead of demolishing the local environment, build around it. Any concept that will help reduce the building's impact to the natural environment will help make the transition of our occupancy in the region successful. This image is of a competition entry that my case study work architecture won. It is of a 50,000 meter squared conference center in Libreville, Gabon, which houses conferences, assemblies, and dining facilities around 3 carved courtyards with different ecosystems that come from the region. They are designed a solar field and water retention system on site, making this a great example of a design building that is socially, environmentally, and economically sustainable for the local region. It was constructed using local materials and created microenvironments for local wildlife first, then second spaces where people can congregate for local and global political meetings, then dine at a dining facility within it. The second image is a great example of architecture that supports local ecology but is also socially and economically sustainable. By building awareness of the benefits of farming activities, the proper nutrition through architecture. Let's create a form of sustainability that can maintain its ability to support itself not only environmentally but also economically and socially. A building that has diverse functions that can create a microeconomic with social features incorporated within the structure and its surroundings. We can do this by creating space within our design that can sustain local vegetation that will help feed building occupancy and or local wildlife. If we cannot afford to buy a meal, we can still be able to have one by going to a public garden. We can also design more economically and environmentally by incorporating methods of conserving energy and resources. Some popular examples are solar water heating, energy backup systems, water turbines in a local moving water source, solar power, and gray water systems. By doing so, we can help sustain local wildlife and save money by reusing and manufacturing our own resources. The second poster is about research methods. My case study work arc uses a mixture of correlational and qualitative research depending on the environment of the research subject. Most common is correlational due to the amount of variables within the research subject. Majority of the projects have surveys and GIS mapping that visually represent their findings to support their conclusion. My thesis for this poster is, can architecture function with and support the local ecology? Local ecology is the relationship between people, built environment, and the natural environment in a specific region. Some methods of research would be collecting existing data to compare multiple building types to determine what features are needed to support the local ecology instead of damaging it. Data collected from past building projects can prove what building systems can have a positive or negative impact on the local ecology. Data collected can help create a process of construction that will minimize negative effects of the local ecology during the construction process. We also can observe the local environment and research documented reviews of the history of the environment to understand what needs to be done to support the local ecology. Observation can help provide information on how the natural environment interacts with the built environment. With the information, we can apply positive interaction to future projects. Using this documented history, we can investigate long-term transitions in an environment that may affect the building. With this information, we can prepare features to support the building during these changes. Poster 3 is about context of architecture. The three types of context I have chosen for this poster are site, program, and ecological context. The site starts first with understanding of the local ecological system that naturally takes place. We can locate ourselves within the system where we can coexist. These ecological functions provide habitat, respond to the movements of the sun, purify the air, as well as catch, filter, and store water. Designers can create features in their buildings that mimic the functions of particular ecosystems. Rooftops can support ecosystems modeled upon local grasslands. Living walls can mimic forest canopies. Sloped roofs can support species from the local region, and water treatment roofs can behave like local wetlands. Species that thrive in natural ecosystems may also utilize habitats created in man-made structures. The location of the building has a direct impact on its performance. The local ecology of the site is gradient, orientation, and exposure provide specific conditions, while the regional climate offers a more general context for design. We incorporate aspects of passive solar and thermal mass into all of our work as a mechanism of reducing energy consumption. The design needs to be extension or incorporate into the physical environment through human effort. We seek to make this a healthy environment for the building user and also harmonious with the environment. The purpose of this vast amount of agriculture is to support the amount of people in the city. A study done by a work architecture company called New Arc Mega Acropolis shows that it takes about 22,800 square feet to feed one person. Ecological architecture merges the interests of sustainability, environmental consciousness, green, natural, and organic approaches to evolve a design solution. From these requirements and from the characteristics of the site, its neighborhood context, and the local microclimate and topography, architecture should take shape from cues from the surrounding context, which have been mentioned in the previous two posters. Any concept that will help reduce the building's impact to its natural environment will help make the transition of our occupancy in the region successful. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on my classwork from Research Methods taken at Lawrence Technological University.